What? And they stay there. Hey, hey, up, down, up, down, up, down. Win, win, win. Stay there. Hey, what's up, y'all? Toya can see in the building. Look, I'm gonna knock everything down, trying to win. What's up, y'all? So listen. So initially, right, I should have had a guest, but I was running behind. Y'all know ATL traffic be something terrible. Should have had a guest. Guest not available right now, but neither here nor there. Y'all know that's not gonna stop me from talking or spilling my tea. So listen. I got my natural on. I know for some of y'all can't stand it, right? But it's okay because I'm comfortable with all of me. So you can get comfortable with all of you because I'm going to do me, right? But it ain't until I hit the stage that I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. So listen, couple of things we got to talk about, right? We have to talk about the state of Black America, right? And the direction in which we're going. And we have to look at United States as a whole, you guys. Okay. As a whole, we have a tendency of allowing others to lead us or guide us or find all of the information for us, and we just kind of take it and run with it. We are creating some very bad habits of not finding out certain and specific information on our own. Okay. And when we are led, and they call us sheeple, when we are led by people and we don't find out things for ourselves, we can find ourselves in a sticky situation. And when we find ourselves in those situations, it can be potentially deadly to us, not only as an individual, but as a race. But I think we need to look at a couple of things here, because oftentimes when this election rolls around, we only focus on, presidency. What's the president going to do? And we don't focus on America as a whole. All right. And we definitely don't focus on Black America as a whole. And every time we talk about uniting Black America first, everyone else has to have an issue saying that we're dividing something that was already clearly divided and never worked in our favor. Right. So just the laws of life, we understand that in order to be able to be effective with other people, you have to first be effective and get rid of that dysfunction within your own family. I mean, it's just how things go. So until we correct issues with us, we're not going to be able to get along with other races. And until other races begin to respect our Blackness as any other race, we're always going to continue to have a problem, right? So this is a twofold situation. But instead of us just focusing on the presidency, right, we have to dig deeper. We have to get more involved with the different political positions that are right here in front of us, right? Because this is a trickle-down effect, right? When you work for someone, you got the person who's the big manager, and you got all these other little managers. And even though the standard comes from the top, the other little managers in the middle are really the ones that's throwing off the process, right? Because they're getting personal with their job instead of just doing their job, right? So that means we, the people, understanding that America is not only a corporation and a business, but just the fundamentals of how we get what we want. We got to follow through a system. So let's not skip over the people who we put in office right here locally. Okay. And here are a couple of my issues as a consumer. And please, some of you elected officials, I know y'all don't care. Y'all feel like we always complaining. We want more. You feel like, who are we? Who am I to be having these questions and, just going ranting about America and I should just be happy. But no, the fact of the matter is, when you have individual realities that are a posed problem, once we're operating within the realm of America. And the only time that America is holding people accountable is when it's us. See, that's a problem for me. I did a live today about consumer justice. When we spend our dollar, how people treat us, how you want to take our money, but not ensure that all of the fundamentals upon what you are selling, this service or product, you're not adhering to yourself, but you want my money. And we have to begin to take our power back. But this also comes with the people we're putting in office. Now, let's talk about a couple of things, right? Because we have to elect people, right, to govern us, right? The so-called lawless that this law is for, right? And we elect these people, right, to operate on our best interests, to make sure that the rules and the codes and the regulations are being followed across the board, right? Not only you guys get to break the rules and regulations, but we the people, once we break the rules and regulations, then now we're the one that we gotta be brought to justice and held accountable. No, it doesn't work like that. So one of our main issues we're going to discuss is the state of housing. Okay, so what we must understand, right? Part of being a disenfranchised citizen, not having my own property, was because when I went to go get vocal in my local community, right? All of a sudden they had to do new surveys and things of this nature, and found out that the home that I was living in for all these years, which was a mobile home, was deemed unfit for me to be living there and had to be condemned. However, I fixed it up. People came out and did the electricity and things of that nature. You know, I did my due diligence, and it was a trailer from my family, so it had been there, 20 some odd years. But when I became to get active, right, and started to voice my opinion about other people, it was just such a coincidence now all of a sudden that they're coming out to my property and my land and everyone around me that is also my family to resurvey this property all of a sudden, coincidentally, right? And in those findings, they found out that this property that was deemed fit to be there for so long, this property that was deemed fit for me to move in, get gas, get electricity, living in, things of that nature, had automatically become in a state of being able to be condemned. So we must understand that when you don't have a place to stay, they like to utilize that tactic as not having a voice or an opinion in the community because you don't own or rent property in that community. But my family's here all over Griffin, so I have to go stay with one of them because you tore down my property. But in doing that, we're talking about accountability. We're talking about the people that we're hiring. We're talking about the people who are put in position to govern us, right? And you're not governing the actual rules and regulations that need to be governed. Okay? So for instance, had code enforcement been doing their due diligence, the people who inspect homes and businesses and come and check for things that can be posed detrimental to humans, right? Because I thought that's what all these different organizations was for, to protect us, right? And when you're doing your job, then what happens is that you inspect on a daily basis. You're working to make sure every single property in your community is free of any kind of mold that may potentially make others sick or kill them. Make sure that whoever owns it or rents it, not only do they make sure that it's brought up to code, right? Code enforcement, right? Not only should it be brought up to code, but it should also be maintained. You all should also have programs for these things to be maintained in the event that a owner or a renter cannot do it on their own, right? Because we're a government, who we operate free, the land of the free. And with that being said, how can we not make sure that code enforcement enforces the code when it comes to our building structures for our businesses and our homes? Why are people getting in positions where they're getting put out, homes are becoming dilapidated and torn down, to a extent to where you cannot go and repurchase them? Or not for nothing, how can someone be living in a facility or a home structure that is deemed fit to get electricity, deemed fit to have running water, deemed fit to have gas, but not be deemed fit to be livable, even though there was work that was put onto it? Just a whole lot. But I understood that taking away my home, they may have felt that they were taking away my voice in the community because I did not own or rent a property directly myself in this specific county. And I don't care about that. Nothing's like that is ever going to keep me quiet. Right is right, is wrong. I could be a homeless bum on the street, and I'm still going to run my mouth, because if you're not doing something you're supposed to, I'm going to say something about it. So initially, the people that we're voting in our local offices, our mayors, our governors, people who operate code enforcement, the electric company, the water companies, things of that nature, right? When we don't see them actively doing things in an 8-hour day, right? They're sitting on our dime, doing nothing, raising rates. Why are they raising rates? Because the labor that it takes to propel these companies, right, are sitting on their butts all day, eating donuts and drinking coffee, probably with the local police that make sure that they secure those premises. Because I promise you, it doesn't look like anybody does any work, for all of the different entities that has to actually operate and run our governments. It doesn't look like I ever see them doing anything, because let's just take a couple of cities. You have all of these people that you elected into office, and they're still dirty, right? And then what they want to say is, oh, the people need to keep their places clean. No, I'm sorry. Taxes is what pays to keep this place clean. My job is to keep my house clean and my area clean according to your standards, right? But all this other stuff around here, these raggedy roads, these phone poles, these light poles, these garbage areas where trash is all over the place, that is your responsibility. What is sanitation doing other than just walking around picking up trash? We have street sweepers. We have things that when we pay our property taxes and our state taxes and our federal taxes, and they give y'all funding, you guys are supposed to be ensuring that these areas are taken care of. And the point of the matter is, you are not. And again, we the people are working, propelling this machine that we call America. Definitely is not you guys. And we're giving you our money, right? And we're so busy, you keep us so busy that we can't focus on the people who's actually running this ship and understanding that you guys are not doing your job. If we have leadership in place, right? District leadership, zone leadership, city leadership, state leadership, what have you, right? Then why are our streets dirty? Why are we paying electricity bills and our poles and our wires look the way they look? Why are these different divisions of the city and state who gets paid to do these services, they're not doing them? So don't come over here trying to get us all off track, talking about, oh, you're not cleaning this up, not cleaning that up. There's so many components that you guys got in the background that we don't even know. People can't even imagine some of the things that y'all are doing while you working on your water companies, right? With your chemicals and things of that nature, and you winning number one prizes. Why? Because you're putting something in the water to make us docile, not want to do anything. People are having $600, $700 phone bills or light bill. I mean, not phone bills, but water bills and light bills. And you mean to tell me, you as an elected official, that doesn't bother you? Because it's just a job to you. You're not doing this with passion and care for the American people, because if you were, you would be thoroughly looking into some of the things that happen right here in your community. We chose you as the leader of this county or city or state. So what do you mean until we start cleaning up our own neighborhoods? My responsibility is the property that I live on. You put a certain expectation on how that property is supposed to look. Y'all don't want us to have gardens, but you mean to tell me you're not saying nothing about the 17 raggedy cars that's on there? Which you really can't say nothing about the 17 raggedy cars, because if I'm a homeowner and I'm paying my property taxes, I should be able to put whatever the hell I want to on my property and it shouldn't bother you. But we all got codes and regulations, but the ones who are in office are not the ones enforcing the codes and regulations. So therefore, you go make your side deals. I get it, huh? It's very tiring to deal with. I can just imagine governing a community. I was just having a conversation today about police officers don't even come to some of our neighborhoods. We making phone calls telling you somebody just shot at my door and we don't even see you guys for an hour. And you want to ask me why I want to defund the police, but yet and still at the end of the day, when I call you and tell that somebody has shot into my house, but you pull me over in a vehicle and I tell you I'm reaching in the glove compartment for my car, for my certificate to carry a gun, you shoot me unarmed, and you're an elected government official, right? And you charge it up to the game like that's what happens, right? Let's talk about the humans for a second. So the humans that we have running and operating these positions are not doing their due diligence, and we're getting caught up in the whirlwind of I can call the police in my area and they take me for an absolute complete joke, as if I've brought this burglary on myself because I stay in the hood, right? Like it's all my fault. But when they try to invoke the law, now all of a sudden you're so scared of a gun or a taser that you have to murder someone in cold blood and want to be an officer after that. You got a problem. So as we walk down this tricky road of America and being black in America, and people want us to they want to take the boot off our feet, right? This is how we do. You want to take the boot off. You want to take the strap off the boot and the boot. We got nothing but bare feet. But then you're going to tell me, pull yourself up by your bootstrap after you done took the boot and the strap. You took the strap up first. I done went and got a piece of twine or a piece of something, and I done found out how to make a strap, and you going to just take the whole boot because I still found a way to work with the nothing that you gave me. So now we work with the nothing that y'all give us, right? We elect y'all into these positions not because we even give a hoot, but because it's culture. That's what we're trained to do. Half of us don't even know half of you cats. We don't care about half of you cats, honey. Y'all don't talk to us no more. You talk to us just enough to help us run your campaign. But after you run that campaign, you don't know nobody no more. You don't see and greet people like you was when you was running for that campaign. But let's move on forward, right? We hire these people. We put you in positions, right? You say that we need to clean up our own cities that you're in charge of governing, right? But you putting the money in your pocket. And the reason why ain't nobody saying nothing, right? Because it's going on in everybody's face. And it's like the feds is like, what you want me to say? What you want me to say? Like, this is y'all doing, like y'all letting them do this in your face. Why? What the feds gonna do about us going raising hell with why our streets look like this and y'all getting money? Period. But neither here nor there. We go ahead, we hire these people, we put them in position, right? They don't uphold and enforce the code on their own, but they make sure they uphold and enforce the code on us, right? And we find ourselves in a position where we're losing homes. Now, like I said, I lost my home 3 years ago. It was just a coincidence that once I started to be vocal in the community about areas that I didn't live in, they had to come and do some resurveying and found out that my property was deemed to be condemned. All the condemned houses around Griffin, they went on and condemned the house. And I kept going, right? And along this journey, one of my questions is, as a political official, right? How much do you care? Why isn't code enforcement doing their job? I thought that's what they do. But the point of the matter is that we hire these people. There's mad people that run and operate our government. And it just looks like I don't ever see anybody doing anything. They're always in office, sitting, chatting, talking, right? I come from a different world. I want to see assholes and elbows. I get the office job, but I think there should be some field work for all public officials. Field work, right? Where you too go out in the community and keep it clean, right? You put your clothes on because you're part of the community too. And you come out there with us and clean with us, along with the other necessities that you guys have, throughout the city structure to keep it clean. Because y'all are in charge of the streets and the roads and the pavements. We in charge of our own property, right? So there should be no excuse why our streets and roads and pavements are dirty and nasty, period. But our property, let that be junky. But the whole goal is y'all guys need to get on your job. So now today I was aiming to try to have a guest on today, but I guess I missed that time slot. Very busy person. But this is why I'm talking about government, because it's the people that we hire and put in position that are going to make sure they do their due diligence. And we need to make sure that we know and build relationships with these people. I don't think it should be a day. One thing I respect about Doug Holberg and Griffin, he walked everywhere he went to. The only thing I didn't like about Doug Holberg is he didn't make sure he spoke to everybody. He act like he ain't see some folks on purpose. But I respect the fact that he walked through his own Griffin streets, right? But that's about all he did. But state of housing, code enforcement. Code enforcement, I thought job was to make sure that the code is being enforced when it comes to operating and dwelling in our buildings. And if we're having dilapidated buildings, that means they are not, whether it's a private owner or whoever owns it. I thought that was you all's responsibility. Whether someone dies, drug raid, or whatever. Code enforcement is supposed to make sure that the code is being enforced on all buildings at all times. And if we get caught around here with no place to stay because whoever owns it did not follow the proper protocol, even if you are the homeowner, you should also have programs in play to assist people, because y'all know y'all not paying nobody no money, and keeping their homes if you really don't want no homelessness, instead of trying to capitalizing off people's debt. So now what we have is we have a state of people who control the housing market. We're in a crucial pandemic, right? People are getting put out. People are losing their homes in the midst of a pandemic. On top of all of the stress of just focusing on a pandemic that can literally kill you, we now have to focus on having a home and being put out, or having it condemned, or having to live with expectations that fall below the code, right? Then we have a bout of retaliation for those of us that may stand up or speak for ourselves. That's how they do, Black folks. When we start to stand up and speak for ourselves, right? Now they want to put you out and all this stuff here, right? And the reason why y'all started to make laws is because when y'all started to do people dirty, you had to put something else in play, because you can't do that. You can't just up and put somebody out because they're reporting you because you got black mold growing around this place and I'm paying you $900 for rent. You can't do that. And even if you could do that, let's just say it's a buy here, pay here person. Let's just say you did ownership, right? That means the person who lived there. That means if the city and the government officials gave any kind of care or who about the people in their community, you would put your own $20 up, your own $100 up, and have a fund to help people. And you're not doing it. So initially, my guest was supposed to have been a DA, because again, all of this goes hand in hand, man. When you don't have no place to stay, when you're at jeopardy of losing your livelihood, you got to pay your rent. You have to buy food for your family. Those two necessities are going to make people do any and everything. Here's how crime comes. If I can't get no job and I got to pay rent, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is about the sweetest joy next to getting picture paragraphs and loaded, wise words being quoted. There's a reason why America is in the predicament that we're in, is that's because we're selfish and we are not operating off the values that this Constitution can potentially be. Nowhere near it. But as elected officials, as a potential elected official, as a future elected official, or simply as a human being, it is our job to care and to protect those who cannot or do not have a voice of themselves, not to capitalize off their lack of knowledge or their debt. America will never rise to be number one if we don't get back to operating off of our values. And that's what America was about. And it wasn't only about white America. Have we not noticed the stain that America is leaving with this racism foolishness? It's not meant to be like that, man. But whatever. The wealth of the just will be turned over to the riches. The wealth of the riches will be turned over to the just, man. And here it comes. So we're going to be starting a group to tackle housing. And if you or someone you know is having an issue with housing and landlords, let's get together. I'm sick of it. Let's get together. Let's start making some noises. Let's start organizing. Let's start petitioning. Let's start calling these people out and bringing it to national attention. Let's go over this Constitution thing and see what we can do from a federal aspect to make sure we secure our own housing. And then not only that, we need to look at investing in other housing because I'm sick of it. So I ask that you join me, like, share, and subscribe so we can start focusing on this housing piece. Right? Part 2 of what I want to talk about today, because I was anticipating having a DA, but I wasn't on time. Like most Black people. I was 30 minutes late. So I don't know if I've been stood up or my brother just felt like his time is too valuable. When he say 3 o'clock, he means 3 o'clock. And I'm not mad at that. But I wanted to get real with my brother about the state of law enforcement. And our power as the people, and how we can use it to our advantage, right? Now, when it comes to law enforcement, I want to acknowledge a couple of things, right? We know as an officer, they have egos, period. And with them having egos, they want you to be extra soft. And some of us refuse to be soft. And it don't matter if you police. It don't matter if you president. It don't matter. You could be head of the CIA. It don't matter. Some of us, your titles don't move us. And you're not going to be talking to me all kind of crazy. You're not going to be doing what you want to do to me and think that I'm not going to say nothing because of a so-called title. So when it comes to us specifically in our interaction with police, because we know their egos, because we know how they are, is why we should refrain from being extra, right? The only reason why I'm going to refrain from being extra, because listen, I don't want to do no more time in jail. Been there, done that, didn't like that. I don't want to be fooling with these folks on this damn probation. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want no parole. I don't want none of that. So it is better for me to understand your egotistical ways as an officer and your misuse and abuse with your authority, and be quiet and not challenge you so I can make it home alive. And let me follow this the proper way, right? But oftentimes when we be quiet and follow the proper way, we know nothing ain't gonna done. We know nothing ain't gonna be done. Nothing ain't gonna come from it. So we want to pop off right then and there, but we can't. So let's acknowledge that. Let's acknowledge the fact that as a human being, you ain't talking to no logs. As a human being, most of us being a grown human being, it don't matter what you are. You ain't got no right to be talking to nobody all crazy, stupid, and disrespectful. Period. But okay. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm going to do any and everything that you asked me to do within reason as an officer. So you can let me either go on about my business or go on and go to jail. Whatever you finna do, we finna do that. But there's some things we need to learn. Listen, when I got locked up for beating that boy upside his head with a bat, for putting his hands on me, I was ready to go to jail. Your Honor, where the keys? I'll be back in an hour because I'm finna go tear his head up. Even on that day, I called the police and they did not come. That's how I got caught up having to go get my clothes myself, because I called the police and they never came. And when he began to get disrespectful, I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to jail today. Hey, girl, listen. I'm finna whoop this Negro so-and-so. Call my parents and tell them I'm finna be in jail, because I'm not waiting on no police no more. I'm finna go handle my own business, and whatever come down the tunnel after that, shall I go? I don't care if you a cop or whatever. You're not going to be disrespecting me. I stay within line. So once we acknowledge the fact that you all have ego issues, not only officers, any one of you get power. You get elected or run for something, honey. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You automatically a superstar, but whatever. You got an ego. You want to talk to people all crazy and stupid and disrespectful because you think you're a cop, right? You want us to eat it, right? That's a form of superiority, right? You want us to eat it, but then you want to get physical. Okay. Here we go again. You ain't dealing with no animals, even though your mind might tell you with your mental abuse problem having self. Your mind might tell you because I'm black, I'm an animal, but the fact is I'm a human being. This is an animal, and you can't even do them like that, right? I'm not an animal. Because I don't refrain from telling you my peace of mind because you're talking to me all stupid and crazy because you're an officer. And because I say something back does not give you the right to put your hands and beat on me. If I beat on this animal, what he gonna do? I know I feed him, but if I get to beating him too much, what he gonna do? He gonna bite me. Why? Because ain't no living thing. Do I look like a tree? Ain't no living thing finna just sit there and let you just beat on them and not do something back. But okay. Your ego got you tripping because you in an officer suit. You want to talk to me all stupid and crazy. And when I say something back, now you want to get physical. And I'm still not supposed to do nothing because you are an officer or a president or a whoever you is. Now you're physical with me. And I'm not supposed to try to do anything to protect you from being physical with me. Well, that poses a little bit of a problem because you're dealing with a human, not a tree, right? So we know that cops are egotistical, right? They want us to feed into their egos, right? We know once we start going back and forth with them, they want to get physical and fight and shoot and kill and murder and all this stuff here, right? And I know I'm about that life, right? And I'm not even scared to die. I'm ready to go home with the Lord. Been ready to go home with the Lord. Some of the stuff I did was criminal myself, trying to go home with the Lord early. But the Lord said, ain't time for me to come home. I got to stay here and fight. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to be putting myself in no situation for nobody to be sending me home to the Lord early. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what the Lord say do. And in the mix of me doing what the Lord say do, I leave here, which my God don't do like that. But I leave here in the mix of doing what the Lord say do. Then let's roll with it. But in the meantime, see, my Lord, he don't work like that. See, he gonna have me do everything I need to do, Harriet Tubman style. And when I get ready to say, Lord, I'm ready to come on with you, I surrender like Jesus did. Did I go? So, egotistical cops want to talk to you all disrespectful. When you say something back because you're a human, they want to get physical. And now, right, because you're a human that has another human trying to get physical with you because you get ready to defend yourself, now they get to kill you because they're a cop. And they were defending themselves, even though they were wrong. They're just right because they said they're right because they're police. But we all know, like the customers aren't always right, neither are the police. Neither is the law. But okay. So you get physical with the human being and think just because you're a cop, you're able to get physical with the human being. The human being get physical back or even run away, and you think it's okay to kill them. So that means your local DA, mayor, commissioner, board member, district attorney, assistant DA, all of them got to go. Oh, you got to go. If you don't understand that your position and title as another human being that operates within the realm of any position of authority don't have the right to take anybody else's life, you are the problem. And if you think that as an officer or as a DA or as any public official, with all of the findings that we are coming to find out about different chemicals that make us do certain things, different devices and social media effects that cause us to do some of the things, all the variables that put humanity in the position that it's in, if you are an elected official and you don't sympathize and empathize and want to do something to change that, and you want to manipulate and be the only one to capitalize off of that because that's your love of money, your time is up, you guys. There's new sheriffs coming in town. And my God is so awesome and so good. Not only has he told you guys to stop it, not only has he told you guys to make it right, but he's even willing to let a couple of you guys keep your jobs. But there's some new sheriffs the Lord is grooming up, and they have to come take over because you will not do your due diligence to fight for the people. My job, and I'm not an elected official, is everybody that I come in contact with, you got to know what I know. I got to tell you what I know, and I'm learning a little bit about everything. And some of this stuff, even if it is a law, it's not right. And it's time to start standing up. And when we go to electing our DAs, we need to think about this when we think about the state of our law enforcement. And this is why I wanted to have Mr. Dexter on the show, to get an inside conversation. And I have several other people who I may possibly potentially be able to interview that are in the judicial system position to be able to negatively or positively influence the court system. And I plan on reaching out to them in the future, but this is why I wanted the DA on there. It's not about what you tell me, right? And I think one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time getting the interview, because I'm not playing with you. I'm not trying to be politically incorrect, correct, halfway correct. Like I'm coming as a citizen and I want to know what's good. I want to know why. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your feelings. And I'm going to call you on your bull if I feel like it was your bull. City of Griffin. They tore my house down, my trailer down, paid off. Been there years because of my voice. I was speaking up for people that wasn't even in my area. People talk about going to meetings. Oh my gosh, they give you such a cold shoulder when you go to these meetings. You don't really want to be bothered. You want to keep doing what you're doing. And we got, listen, and I'm just going to talk about Spalding County right now. You have 65,000 people. I'm just going to say 60,000 people in that county. You have roughly 24,000 in a city, right? And you have what, 5, 6 commissioners for the city and the county? And what is getting done? How can we have 65,000 people drive, operate, live in our communities on a daily basis, see what's not being done outside your property, and not hold these people accountable? But let us get mistaken for a suspect in a robbery. They're going to hold us accountable to the point to where they're going to murder us, and all of them are going to side with the officers if it was our fault. If you're an elected official and you operate or you represent people in any community, and at any point in time you feel like they brought that on themselves, this is what they do. Police officers don't have to take Bankhead as seriously as Buckhead, and that's cool with you. As an elected official, your time is up. I don't mean to talk bad about Corona. I don't even want to throw that on nobody, but I think the fact of the matter is that we keep forgetting that the wages of sin is death, man. And everybody that leave here ain't for here. Some of us wind up in these situations because of our own choices and decisions. Not because anyone else has necessarily put us there. But there are a lot of situations to where our leadership have done nothing. The black one or the white ones. Even in a city like Griffin, there's a majority of white leadership, and that place is still trash. So let's stop making it seem like white people are oh so much better than black folks. It just so happened that the 3 or 4, 5 ants on a plate of white rice is older and tired, and they're not trying to put up with that fight. Nobody got no time for that, honey. Ain't nobody got no time to be going through them issues, honey. You white folks carry on so bad. Some of you people, when somebody try to stand up for something different, it could be women stand up for women's right. You men act up so bad. So I can just imagine my people so tired of having the brakes beat off of them for everything they do. Y'all white folks was so bad. The only thing you got to do is speak up for somebody else, and here they come wanting to burn your house down. Oh, they didn't burn mine down. They just made me tear it down because it violated their code that they hadn't enforced in 25 years. So they do things to silence us so we won't have a voice. But I think it's very important that not only do we understand and remember that God is rising up some mighty people. And with us having this candidate in Spalding County for the DA, Mr. Dexter Winbush, I hope I said his name right, which I do apologize for being 30 minutes late. I know your time is extremely valuable and extremely important. I can never replace that, but definitely, I think there's a change that may be necessary for the state, for the city or the county of Griffin Spalding. Now, I wanted to dig in deep and really just get a feel for this brother. You know, what do you think about that? What do we think we can do? What what are your plans? How do you as a DA plan to um, help us make changes to our policing system, or at least the way we judge our criminals in Griffin, Georgia? Because just as hard as I see you, listen, first of all, it ain't that much damn crime going on in Griffin, Georgia. Please believe that. So all you ain't damn busy. But let's just say you got 5 8-hour days worth of crime going on and you just got to read all these paperworks all day. I'm going to say, like I said in the beginning, I think it is vital and valuable that our public officials have so-called field time. Time to get out in the field, time to give back. You don't need to be all cooped up thinking about criminals and crime all day long, every day, 20, 30 years. Criminal crime, criminal crime, criminal crime, criminal crime. That's just all you do. And you don't never go out there and reconnect and rebuild relationships to try to prevent some of that criminal and crime. You become so obsessed, and everybody a criminal. Oh, you live over there, you're a criminal. Oh, you were doing something. Oh, you're black in a raggedy car and a hoodie. Y'all need field time to get back into the field. Not only when you want to get elected, that need to be a part of your due diligence as a political official. Once a week, you need to be out in them streets, especially in a place like Griffin, Georgia. I'm telling you, we ain't got that much damn crime in Griffin, Georgia to be sitting up there prosecuting folks 8 hours, 5 days a week. And as a matter of fact, right along, I'm not going to start preaching about these laws because, listen, let me tell you something. If y'all let some of them folks out of jail for no tag, no insurance, no light old ticket from 2012, if you let all them folks out, you'll have less paperwork. Why don't you try to find another stream of revenue by putting a positive impact out there and put the shame and the issues of locking everyone up? Why don't we put some preventative measures behind that, right? Like when you lock them up, you need to have school all day. School all day. Them niggas gonna get so tired of going to school, learning all day, going to jail, learning all day. That's all, just all day damn long. It's all you get 1 hour of rec time and the other 22 hours just learning. You're gonna be the smartest criminal when I get done with you. Trust and believe, since black folks don't like to read, they won't be going back to jail no more now, will they? Ain't that what y'all say? Let's get into preventative measures. Instead of creating more prisons, because you guys are spraying and putting things in water and putting things in food and putting things in music and putting things in videos and putting little woo rays and heebie-jeebies on the internets and stuff like that. Why don't we just flip this thing? Well, it might not be as lucrative for you as it is now. But I'm saying, Mr. Dexter Winbush, I was expecting to have him on, but like black folks, I was late. I know his time is very valuable. I hope I can catch up with him another time. But again, I think he is a change and an opportunity for Griffin. And I would love to talk to him more about the opportunities that we could potentially bring to Griffin for low level case crimes. You know, we have a great organization with one of my partners in business, Chanel Williams. Awesome program, and I would love to try to see if I can get Mr. Winbush, once he wins, involved with us as a nonprofit, and we can try to start some type of course or classes that will probably help better give young people who had an opportunity to not go to jail a way out, right? But not only should we be looking at those who have low level crimes, but we also need to focus on preventive. High risk children or students, and this cannot be just a Dexter Winbush thing, DA thing, or whatever. This is going to be a collective effort with the Board of Education and the judicial system and the penal system. You're going to have to work closely as a preventative measure, as teachers, Board of Education, as guidance counselors, as principals. We need to be able to identify high risk individuals based on their behavior and their activities and what may potentially be leading them down a negative path. And along with some of those that the DA decides to grant another opportunity, we should be able to allow some at-risk kids be a part of this program. But this is something that's going to have to be worked with very, very closely with law enforcement, every judicial point of contact that we have down there, whether it's federal, state, whatever, like anything, juvenile, all of you guys need to be on it. Sheriff, all law enforcement and judicial systems need to work together along with the Department of Education to bring change to our communities, man. We need to spearhead this thing like no other if you really want to put it into some of the things that's going on. Even other countries. I mean, I'm just saying, we must elect the proper people to these positions. We must get people who really care. We must get people who really understand. We must get people who are willing to be fair and not judge you. Listen, I don't like all folks. I'm not a racist. I don't not like you just because you're Jewish. I'm not going to like you because you're a nasty Jew with an attitude who leaves boo-boo everywhere you go and thinks that I'm supposed to clean it up. So it ain't I'm prejudiced to Jewish people. I'm just prejudiced to the nasty Jewish people that leave boo-boo all over the place and look at me like I'm their maid that's supposed to clean it up. You can be black. If you think that you're just going to walk around and leave boo-boo all over the place and you're nasty and just look at me like I'm supposed to clean it up, I'm not going to like you either. Has nothing to do with color. But we're at a pivotal point where we need to focus on right from wrong, man. And we need people in these positions that are going to focus on right and wrong, who are not going to judge you because of how they feel about you or your situation, or because your name is Bonquisha and you got 7 baby daddies. So I need to stick the law to you because you deserve it. You don't need to be in office. We don't need to be building more jails and not building more rehab facilities. That's like a pre-jail. Don't even get me started. Maybe you guys need to start outsourcing all that bail, cash, bond money. Why would you want to take that away? White people sign themselves out with no cash. Why would you want to take away bail, cash, bond? Kyle Rittenhouse? What black person did half of what that little boy did and even thought about a bond? Other than a James Bond that they saw on TV in a pod. What? So we have to be very diligent about the people that we elect. If we don't vote, you're a part of the problem. Sorry. If you don't vote, you're a part of the problem. Because listen, there are too many of them against us. We need every little last fracking person we can get. Thanks to Miss Goddess from the morning show. Fracking. I'm just saying. It's time for us to pull us up by our bootstraps, like they say. Ain't that what they say? And when we pull ourselves up by the bootstrap, the goal is to take that bootstrap and that foot and put it up anybody that don't want to abide by the rules and regulations of the Constitution. That's for all. Yeah, you're not gonna fix your lips to say, well, the Constitution doesn't mean or isn't meant for Black people. Well, I know what you did when you created it. I know what you did not want it to be. I know what your actions said it to be. But you don't get to determine that, honey. When that thing went up, that went for us too. Let me help you. I'm not gonna let you ostracize me from my God-given right that happened to get put on paper called the Constitution, that you wanted to put your own thing up in there and tell me that don't go for me. Well, God said, not only do them laws on there go for me too, but them laws of the Bible go for me too. So not only can I beat your law, but I can beat death too, because everybody want to say, oh, well, when God calls you home, then it was your time. Listen here, honey, you better read that Bible again. The Lord said 120 years was your max. People lived till 900 years, honey, because they didn't know nothing about no death, honey. They just kept on living and living, honey. So when I heard the story of Jesus, it was one key part. He said, surrender. And he's like, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. I mean, I got that too. I'll check out about 91. In the meantime, my job is to spill the tea on all you guys and make you miserable until our people get what we want. And right now, we need for new leadership to take charge. Dexter, winbush, y'all. That is the DA running for Spalding County. Maybe he went and looked at my profile, and that's why he didn't call me back. I don't know. I can be very controversial sometimes. But hey, I'm just a citizen that cares about other people. I'm not a millionaire. Gonna be a billionaire soon. But I'm not. Nobody's spectacular. I'm just little old Toya Fluger. Call myself Toya with the T. But I tell you what I did hear. I did hear the Lord. I heard him tell y'all to stop because he told me to stop. I heard him tell y'all tighten up, make it right because he told me tighten up, make it right because there's some changes finna go on. Heard that part. Whatever the Lord wants me to do, I'm with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. The state of law enforcement right now, we need to look at a closer look. Look and see who our DAs are. I said that I was going to get with some of my crew, and we're going to create some little cards for you guys. You heard it here first. And on these cards, and I'm going to need as many people as possible to get involved. On these cards, we should be able to list every year or every time there's a change in the judicial system or to any position in your local county, city, or community, that we have the names of this on a card, along with what the Miranda rights should say or be, along with some other important information we need to know when being bothered by the police. And we need to get them put these cards, and we need to know who our DAs are, who our mayors are, who our commissioners are, who are districts, who are senators, who are whoever's. We need to know that. We need to work on and understand the structure. So we should be working on that soon. But in the meantime, I feel like this. Doesn't matter who's in there. In your city, in your state, in your town, if you have a person, or if you're noticing dilapidated buildings, trash on your streets, electrical wires and lines not being up, having water issues, your home is maybe collapsing or not well, those things that are the root of our livelihood. Please let us know. Inbox us, give us a call so we can go ahead and try to figure out who and what we need to do to make sure that we rectify that situation, because it's definitely not up to them. It's up to us. All right. So if you guys have any issues with any housing, anything that your state or city should be doing or should be trying to take care of, go ahead and reach out to me. There's a couple of issues I know I've worked on in the past that they just were a pain in the butt about. But sometimes it's just about the way you go about doing things. So let me be that help. Let me be that solution for you. And I'm working with another young lady who we will be targeting this housing seriously, and we'll have some other people joining us as well. But make sure you holler at me. So you know what I do. I got the tea on everything. Whether you want to start your own business and do something different, whether you are having an issue with your local officials, with your housing or anything of that nature, give us a call, hit us up. And also, we just need your support, you guys. Anybody who's in your local office right now, if you think they're not doing a good job, just vote anybody in. Just get them out. How about that? Just get them out. If we still having murders, honey, if we ain't getting no jobs, no new jobs in your local communities, if there are opportunities that are being passed up, and you're not going to know if these opportunities pass until you start engaging in these meetings and things of that nature that they start having. And they're actually about to start lifting visitation at the hospital as well as sports games. So hopefully, with that being said, we'll start to be able to go back into these. All right, you guys, you gotta hold on. I'm running out of time. Go back into these sports arenas. They'll let us go back into these offices, right? Because they're not getting away scot-free. We need them to work. We need to see them actively working. I know definitely for Spalding County, we don't have 40 hours worth of crime, but I'm quite sure we got 40 hours of a work that needs to be done in that county. So I think it's very important that you guys down there in Griffin, or us down here in Griffin, like down there, like I'm somewhere, us out here in Griffin, Spalding County, we must start activating our voices and holding them accountable, and let's take this movement to the next level. Let's be the epitome of what we want other cities to be across the land. I have some great ideas. So, public officials, if y'all want to sit and chat and build some relationships with the people, that can solidify your career, and even, when the terms are up, we the people are still going to be left here and can potentially create other opportunities for you guys who, we may feel like it's on the same level. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, man, thank you guys so much for joining me, man. Toya with the T on the line. Okay. Sorry, I could not get you guys on the line with Dexter Winbush, but I've done some background. Everybody's behind him. I'm definitely supporting him. And I'll definitely be down there on the 8th to make sure I go check out his town hall meeting that they're having. Be down there to ask my questions. Okay. I'm gonna wear my wig for y'all when I come down. Okay, Al. Make sure I put my little dress clothes on. Al. Right? Make sure I put my wig on. Right? Yes, I am. It don't make no difference to me. I rock it like this, honey. It be shot from forehead to toe. But I'm just really digging my hair, man. It just is what it is. It's me. I'm cool with it. I'm good. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me, man. Toya with the T on the line. I got a couple of things I gotta do, man, before I go ahead and get ready to go out and hit the streets. So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining me. Have a good day. And hopefully I'll get to talk to Mr. Winbush in the future. But in the meantime, between time, I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.